economic every creation there's an act of destruction. And what is this? This creative destruction means there is another economic distress. So you have, if you replace the old phone with the iPhone, the old phone goes out, and along goes with this, not just this phone, the product itself, but everything that phone represents, the factories that produce that phone. The owners of those factories will be human. The workers that work in those factories may be unemployed unless they can be told to work in the smartphone. And people associate businesses and people associated with the production of the old phone, every bit of the old phone will also find themselves in some effort. So every new creation will bring new wonderful products. By destroying the old product, replacing the old product means you're running those people out of business. So there's economic distress that goes with creative destruction. What kind of economic distress? These owners who own the old phone factory and then those who work the layoff. So businesses are going to go out of business. There may be also push for unemployment benefits to tie people over as they leave from a lot of their job in one city to another. There may be also push for a minimum wage. These people are being replaced by machinery. The skills that they once had are no longer useful. And they can only get jobs in places where the skills cannot be used, so there are low-wage jobs. Low-wage jobs are perhaps, traditionally we haven't paid them minimum wage. So they are being pushed to pay people minimum wage. These are the kinds of legislations that may come in place for economic distress. The workers are being worked by businesses going on. And of course, the upshot of all of this, right, is that these policies are put in place. It makes it difficult for companies to go out of business. Equally, but when you have these legislation in place, it's to go out of existence, survive. Also, some companies may stay longer than they need to stay because of this. Because workers are not the only ones going to be for a lifetime. All established companies are also served by economics. They also give economics. Failing business, failing agricultural business, big banks that are too big but are failing. In California, rice farming there are rice farming in California. Here we are in the middle of the drought, now, but soon in the summer, and there are rice farmers in California. This is the most ridiculous thing. Those businesses probably should go out of business and allow rice farming to be taken over by countries that have plenty for water. But no, in California, so many farmers are investing in rice farming. And so there are many people's livelihood depend on rice farming. The government is subsidizing rice farming. Not just rice farming, but also corn, cotton, soybean, dairy, wheat, tobacco farming, right? In the context of the global world war, if you want to protect your own farmers and your own agricultural workers, you put in place legislation to help these companies survive. Perhaps these companies should fail. Perhaps these companies and new innovative ways of using agricultural land in California ought to be put in place. But we don't do this because we are protecting the farmers, the old failing farmers, the old failing ways of using agricultural land. Stifle innovation in a way to support failing, but in a way that stifles innovation to protect the workers and the companies. Or call a bank that cannot fail, that has to be very it has been a disaster and healthy out there. Very much hard if they lost. So the state government, they are protecting the public. What that happens to be sometimes they're not really that clear. You should fail. Because the market this is what the Schumpeter said. When there is too much competition for rice farming, because the rice could be imported from other countries at a much lower cost. And the state is that rice rice and support rice farming. The workers on the economic stress, the state is not giving help. Or help failing businesses. In the long run, start from in the context of farming, because rice farming has no incentive. You pay knowing that they need the rice. They are used for the rice. They do not fail because the state is bad. There is not a lot of pressure on banks to change the way that they do banking, because the state will come and help them out. So bureaucratic regulation stifles innovation in the long run. So we have innovation brings creative cycles of creative destruction, cycles of creative destruction when you destroy an old product, with that we have economic distress. Economic those companies that produce the old product that we replace. There will be calls for legislation to help alleviate this pain, the pain on the part of workers, the pain on the part of all businesses. The state steps in, community steps in to help alleviate this stress. And we do so by putting in place this legislation. Legislation in the long run, however, means you have more and more legislation, makes it harder and harder to innovate things. That makes sense? Is that right? So he's working here, this is 1940s, right? He's thinking about this bimodal model of the world. On the one hand, you have greedy, competitive capitalism, and on the other hand, you have Stalinist Russia. There's nothing much in the middle as yet. You don't have social democratic nowhere. That's just not on the horizon as yet, right? So these are the two options. This is what he's saying. And he's thinking that with these legislations, we're moving more and more away from greedy, competitive capitalism to more and more regulation, more and more legislation, also to less sacrifice. Tying our hands, tying our creative spirit, tying our innovative spirit. But he thinks this is an inevitable process. Innovation inevitably will bring about calls for these legislations, because innovation, creativity, innovation necessarily brings with it destruction. Creativity and destruction go hand in hand. You can't separate. Inevitably, creativity will destroy something old. When it destroys that something old, it will bring with it economic distress. When there is economic distress, there will be calls for legislation. And when there are more and more legislations, the more and more innovation will stop. So in the long run, inevitably, innovation will bring with it its own very internal dynamics of destruction happening. If you ever have an argument that innovation is bad, innovation is naturally, inevitably, by its very own dynamics, brings with it the destruction of it. He's not right. Far from it. He doesn't want to see it. Right? He believes economic capitalism comes from entrepreneurs and innovation. But he's worried. That in a market society, because innovation necessarily brings with it destruction, it will bring with it the end of capital. Yes?
True, like capitalism, free market, like allow alien businesses to fail?
It does not, right? He says no, it does not.
Right, but that's like because we use regulation.
Yes.
Like free market capitalism wouldn't allow alien businesses to fail. Right?
Yes, now, free market is of course a utopian conception. We've never had a free market, we
Right.
never will have a free market,
Right.
because we always act in this way, right? Can we have a free market society? I think Schumpeter would argue, we will see later on another economist who will argue this, there is no free market because of this economic distress. We come in and help, we regulate. The market is always a controlled market. Right? There are certain kind of economic behaviors that we never allow for any piracy. We don't consider that to be consistent with the field. So yeah, absolutely. In an ideal sort of utopian free market society, none of this would be needed.
Well, I would say free market.
Yes. See, I think he would argue, right, that because he says that he would argue that innovative ideas, economic growth, as a result of innovation, inevitably brings with it a great deal of human suffering.